and we're going to talk about Ryan Garcia versus Javier Fortuna. Hold on a second, though. Let me get the lights. Boom. There we go. Let's next get it up. All right, people, I am what you need. You're watching my channel to talk about Javier Fortuna versus Ryan Garcia. And I mean, which is beautiful work by Ryan Garcia. I thought Javier Fortuna would present some problems to him because Javier Fortuna can bob and weave a little bit, slip punches, evade punches. But Ryan kept him honest by utilizing both the jab and the lead right hand. So he was interchanging those two things to keep Javier Fortuna at bay, keep the range of distance. He was walking him down behind those punches, or circling him, shall I say, because the fight was in the center of the ring. So Javier Fortuna, from the get-go, Orion started using his jab first, then he started using the right hand. As you know, the right hand was also used to measure a southpaw. Fortuna was trying to keep Ryan's left hand, his jabbing hand, at home, so he was occupying the left hand, but Ryan kept on shooting the right hand down the pocket. And Javier never ran. He fought him all the way, but he really couldn't get his offense off. Ryan basically smothered all his offense by occupying him with keeping the right hand there, measuring him with the jab, stepping back, measuring him with the jab, and just keeping him at bay. So great work by Ryan. He used his length, his reach, his height, and pretty much nullified Javier Fortuna, any kind of offense that Javier Fortuna could have mounted. Fortuna tried, on occasion to use different tricks. They use different tricks, change up his rhythm. He tried showing the face and fitting the head slot so Ryan would miss shots, and then tried to close the distance quickly to get on the inside. He tried to bob and weave a little bit. Um, when he really started to do the changes, he should have known that the check hook was something that Ryan was going to use. What he actually got caught with, though, was as he was circling out away from Ryan, Ryan pursued him, and then shot a jab. I think no, sorry, he shot a left hook to his body, feinted the left hook up top, and he came to the body in the fourth round. So they were feeling each other out the first three rounds, and you hear Joe Goosen talking about watching out for his counters, staying sharp, controlling him with the jabs to control the distance, the range, so he can't come inside, and the right hand. So basically, Ryan controlled him with the jab and the right hand to keep him on the outside. And as he's walking to him, or circling him at least, and then when the opportunity presents itself, he would throw that left hook. He was trying to measure with the left hook as well. Um, but what he actually did was he set the trap with the right hand. So he's baiting him with the right hand because when you fight in the southpaw, the right hand's more the hand that interfaces. Now he used the jab to keep him honest so that he wouldn't try to hook over his jab, and that was something that Fortuna could have probably done a little bit more of, trying to hook off of Ryan's jab. Ryan was very sharp. Fortuna was also sharp, but Fortuna was changing levels, trying to go from low to high. But what Fortuna probably didn't do, because me as a southpaw, I would have done that, and Fortuna could have done it, but he just didn't. Was called Garcia's bluff, but Garcia was calling Fortuna's bluff by shooting the right hand straight down the place where you want to push that head slot to throw your jab. So Fortuna should have shown the face and shot a lead left. He should have shot a lead left from low to high. So you slip here. It's a gamble because you're playing the opponent's bluff. You're playing because you're playing against Ryan's right hand. Okay, and Ryan's right hand is, you have to stay a respectable distance. Now the thing that Ryan was doing, everything that he was doing, you could see he took a play out of Mayweather's book, or he took a play out of Teofimo Lopez book, any orthodox fighter circling a southpaw, whether it's your Dennis Ugas, whoever, you circle anti-clockwise. So he's circling to seemingly um, Fortuna's power hand. Because he's longer, his right hand is going to get to Fortuna quicker than Fortuna could get to him. So he was shooting the right hand down that pocket, keeping Fortuna in place because Fortuna is circling the wrong direction. Where Fortuna was supposed to circle out and try and circle the direction where he could go to Ryan's power hand. But anyway, one of the things that Ryan was doing was calling for Fortuna's bluff, and he was shooting the right hand straight down the center, even though his head slot could have been in the direction where Fortuna could have caught him with a right hook, or he could have thrown his lead left, just shift off to the side and throw his lead left down the center, and probably could have caught Ryan. But Ryan kept on shooting the right hand down the center, so that kept Fortuna from shooting his lead left. But what I would have done as a southpaw if it was Ryan was I would have slipped off to the side. I kept on turning Ryan, and I slip off to the side and shoot my lead left when he's not looking. So like for instance, I would actually do like something like this, so you understand what I'm saying. I don't think you guys understand what I'm saying. So I'm a southpaw, right? Okay. So Ryan is making me go this way, but I don't want to go this way. But I'm circling this way all the time, right? I'm circling this way, right? So what you got to do is you shuffle back. You take 2 steps back, and you circle out this way. You circle out this way, right? So that you can address him how you want to, and you want to make him circle that way, right? And then you catch him over the top with the right hook. You catch him over the top of the right hook if he tries to come at you, because you're going to circle back this way, and then you're going to come this way. Okay? So Fortuna didn't reset. He could have reset it. You understand? But Ryan was playing bluff with him. Because you have to take the space. You see, it's adjusted position for space. And Ryan kind of established from the get-go with his jab. He started off with his jab first. Because he was first, he pushed Fortuna in the direction he wanted him to go. You see? But what you have to do is you have to reset. You have to shuffle out, turn around, and reset. You see Lomachenko did that to Luke Campbell. So you can get him to go in the direction you want him to go. And then you can cut an angle on him. You can cut an angle on him and then throw that lead left, because you may have lead foot position on him. Throw that lead left. Boom. Right? And because I'm a southpaw, I could see it real easy. So I thought Fortuna would have done that, but he was too, I think he was too taken aback and a little too respectful in some respects of Ryan's lead right, because he knew that Ryan would use that lead right to bait him into throwing his lead left hook. But again, the trick to it is, right? He's pushing you back this way, right? He's pushing you back this way. So you have to reset. So you take 2 steps back, shuffle out, and come back in. Okay? 2 steps, because it's all about distance. It's all about distance, and you have to reset it. You see? But yeah, great job by Ryan. Great job by Ryan in pulling off the victory. He took away almost everything that Fortuna could have possibly have done. When Fortuna started to get a little success throwing that lead left hand, and he caught him with a lead left, he also caught him with a right hook over the top. And even on the inside, Ryan's pretty nice and tight with those shots too. And he's strong. You can see he's physically strong at 140. He'll do well at 140. But the thing about it is that with Ryan, what I noticed was, they were saying he has no head movement, meaning he was fighting tall. Now he was fighting tall, but he was leaning in as well. He was using vertical distancing, whereas Fortuna was leaning off the back foot. Okay, but anyway, what I liked about what Ryan did was when Fortuna was trying to circle out to reset, he chased him down and caught him with a left hook. He feinted like the left hook on top, and he caught him with the left hook, and that's how he put him down the first time. The second time, he put him down with I believe it was he set up the bait with the right hand and then he came back with the left hook. Right? He set up the bait with the right hand. So he bait him with the right hand. Remember, it's the southpaw you're dealing with. So he bait him with the right hand and he came back with the left hook, which was, I mean, it was good. I mean, Fortuna fell for it because he got the left hand in. So because he got the left hand in, now he was thinking I could thread the needle, and it's almost like Terrence Crawford versus Kell Brook. You see, um, Terrence Crawford baited Kell Brook in, so Kell Brook threw the lead right hand. This is the reverse of what happened. Okay, Ryan Garcia is an orthodox fighter, and Fortuna is a southpaw fighter. Well, Terrence Crawford did the opposite in that he's the southpaw fighter, and Kell Brook was the orthodox fighter. But basically, you catch the guy coming in with a check hook. Okay, so Ryan caught him coming in. He shot the lead right, and in response to the lead right, my boy, he tried to angle his head off to this side, but he didn't have foot positioning, and shoot the lead left, right? And in trying to do that, he got caught with a check hook as he leaned in to shoot the lead left. And it's pretty much the same thing that Terrence Crawford did to Kell Brook, except Terrence Crawford was the southpaw, Kell Brook was the one shooting the lead right down the center. And that's because you didn't cut the angle correctly. And so he baits you, and you out of position. You don't realize you're out of position. He baits you into that. The bait was obviously, if it's a southpaw fighter, it's I bait you with my left hand to come across with my right hand, right? And if it's I bait you this way, but I'm going to lean back and check hook you, right? And with Ryan, he basically bait him with the right hand, and he leaned back and he caught him with the left hook. You understand? So that's how he dropped him the second time. And then the third time, he basically hit him with the standard set of punches because, again, Fortuna's trying to be aggressive. He's trying to, close the distance. And he got caught with a jab, right hand, left hook combination, the standard combination. But it was done very sweetly. The timing and everything, how he caught him with that shot was beautiful. And Fortuna had enough. He could have gotten up, but he had enough. He called it a day. And veteran fighter, you always question, should I go on? Been dropped 3 times. He could have probably gone on, but he called it quits with that. You know what I mean? And kudos to him. He fought like a warrior. You know what I mean? After that, Ryan Garcia congratulated him. But Ryan was too sharp, too young, too big, too strong, and just too skilled for having Fortuna. Even though I believe Fortuna could have done some other things to stay in the fight, but I think he was frustrated that he couldn't really get his offense off. And, he was trying to measure, but again, he wasn't. I mean, the first knockdown, he didn't expect it. I didn't expect it. And Ryan just turned up the gas and knocked him down. The second knockdown, he fell for the bait. He could tell that he was getting impatient and tried to mount offense and not be careful. If you're going to throw the lead left, right, and you don't want to walk into a check hook, there are 2 things. 1, you have to cut the angle correctly, and 2, you got to dip. If you're going to throw that lead left, you got to dip. Keep your head tucked and dip and throw the lead left. And dip off to the side. And so that's why he got caught. So you can get under the punch just in case there's a hook coming, So we say you throw the punch and you roll under and out to the side, and but hey man, I think he was a little bit impatient, and so unfortunately for him, because he's not getting really much offense, he's not doing what he usually do. Ryan was not allowing him to do what he usually do, and then of course he made the mistakes, kind of like. And that's veteran stuff. And Joe Goulson's a great trainer, by the way. Excellent job with Ryan. It was easy. He made it look easy. It wasn't easy, but he made it look easy. Ryan made it look easy. And it really is a compelling argument for this guy beating Tank Davis because 1, having Fortuna is a southpaw. 2, having Fortuna is a good southpaw. Like, he has an array of skills. He's fought really good opponents, including world champions. Himself being not a true world champion, he wasn't a primary world champion, but he was secondary world champion um, in two weight classes. So he had some experience. It's probably the most qualified guy on Ryan's resume. Okay, um, but having said that, um, I think Ryan did well. He did very, very well because I did not expect the fight. I didn't expect it to be so one-sided. I thought it was going to be more competitive because I thought that Fortuna was going to be able to get under the shots that Ryan throws because he's shorter, and roll under the shots, roll into him, roll under the jab, roll under the right hand. Slip the jab, slip the right hand, slide in. I thought he would be able to do that, but he was not able to do that. And again, kudos to Ryan on that because it there is one extra punch you keep on having in that equation, which would be, and he would feint it sometimes. If you throw the jab and then you throw the right hand, there's always that check hook coming. There's always that check hook coming. So you have to, if you're a southpaw like myself, you got to slip the jab, you got to slip the right hand, and then you got to roll under the hook. See what I'm saying? You got to roll under the hook. And while you may shoot and then roll under, shoot and then roll under the hook. Okay, that's what you got to do because he could possibly be throwing 3 sets of punches, or greet you with 3 sets of punches. But the thing about it is, you mightn't get your shot in. Your shot might still fall short because he might take a step back to throw the hook. You know what I mean? So Ryan's footwork was good. Everything was on point. It was very difficult. It reminded me of a combination of Devin Haney and Tank. Power and finesse, because Ryan's a finesse fighter. It was beautiful stuff. I got to give Ryan his credit. So he's got 2 really good names on his resume now. He's got Luke Campbell, who wasn't a world champion, but, gave world champions tough fights. Gave Lomachenko a tough fight. He gave that Venezuelan kid, Linares, a tough fight, right? And Ryan blew him out of the water. 6 rounds. 6 rounds. The same amount of rounds as Javier Fortuna, except he dropped Javier Fortuna a couple times more, right? And Fortuna is a very skilled fighter. Let me just make that abundantly clear. He's a skilled fighter, and it just was a little too difficult for him to cover that distance. And I think, now I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think there was a better weight for Javier Fortuna, even though he looked a little pudgy in the stomach. Even on the way in and even in the fight, he looked a little pudgy in the stomach. He wasn't the usual ripped Fortuna. And I've seen him at 140 against Adrian Granados, and he looked more ripped than that. So, targeting the body. I said, if Ryan target the body, that's one of the ways to wear down Fortuna, right? And boy, did he a sweetly timed left hook to the body, man. You can't get it better than that. You know what I mean? So, he didn't knock him out. And he was relatively fresh. He got a little time. The referee kind of cleaned out his mouth guard and all that. But I just think that Ryan just outthought him, outplayed him, outbaited him, which is amazing. It's amazing. So that's a really good performance. And what does it lead into? The Tank fight. Definitely Ryan wants that Tank fight. Tank definitely wants that fight. So Ryan versus Tank, I think that's the next fight on the cards. That's going to be a good fight. That's going to be a big fight. And it's a fight that Ryan can win. Based on his performance against Javier Fortuna, he has made the point that, and he wasn't even looking for the knockout. Like, you could listen to him and Joe Goosen, and they're saying, just continue the process. They're not even looking for the knockout. They're taking their time, doing what they got to do, dissect the guy, and then get him out of there, And it was just brilliant. So, I do think that Ryan Garcia has a very good chance against Tank Davis. Tank does a lot of other things, though, and I think Tank would get those shots in because Tank knows how to sort of vary range to thread those shots in that he needs to thread in. So, I've seen him against Mario Barrios. Now, let me tell you what's more impressive about this whole thing, though. Fortuna's used to fighting long guys. He's used to fighting tall guys. But it's just that this tall, long guy know what he's doing. He knows how to maintain range. And Fortuna still it was still difficult for Fortuna to close the distance, you know, um, on him. So I'm very impressed with the performance by Ryan Garcia. You know, I thought he was going to get the decision. You know, I didn't know if it was going to be competitive. I thought Fortuna was going to drop him with a sweeping left hook. You know, Fortuna throws that, but he never got the opportunity to really throw that. He did throw, I think, one right hook that hit Ryan and hurt Ryan a little bit, and he did throw one lead left. You know, and that's what kind of that's about it. But he never really. Ryan was in control of this fight. He was definitely in control of the fight from beginning to end. You gotta give Ryan his props, man. You gotta give him his props. So Ryan versus Tank Davis, that's what's coming up. That looks like a very good fight. Um, the only thing we need now is a Devin Haney versus Vasily Lomachenko fight. So if we can get a Devin Haney versus Vasily Lomachenko fight next, that would be better than Devin Haney versus Kambosos. It looks like Devin Haney versus Kambosos is going to happen anyway. But and that's kind of a disappointment. But I would love to see Devin Haney versus Lomachenko, Ryan Garcia versus Tank. Um, but it's going to be at 140. You know, Ryan's no longer in the 135-pound division. He's moved up to 140. I guess he's not interested in becoming undisputed or anything like that. I think he said that. He said he's not. He doesn't care about becoming undisputed, which I mean that's up to him. You know what I mean? But he's going a different route. He's using social media to sort of build up his profile as well as being having spectacular performances, which he just had. Which is and credit to him because Javier Fortuna and Luke Campbell are two credible names on his list. All them other guys was bullshit, but those two guys were credible names on this list. So Ryan Garcia is starting to build a credible list, but apparently he's at 140 now. So we'll see how he goes with that. He says he wants Teofimo Lopez next if he can't get tagged. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But that's what I got. I'm what you need. So my prediction was wrong in terms of going the distance. I did think Ryan was going to win the fight. Um, I did think he would probably drop Fortuna later on in the fight, but Fortuna would still make it to finish line. He dropped Fortuna 3 times, y'all, 3 times, and Fortuna kind of quit. You know, he was done with it. The third